So good afternoon, everyone. So this is the sociology unit 2 paper 1 review. So we're starting with the 2018 paper. Can everyone see my screen to clarify?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. So I wanted to just inform you guys that just a few things. So I'm going to send the responses to the group chat, the group WhatsApp, and also I cannot find the 2023 paper, so I'm not going to go through that. And for the 2022 paper, I could only find it online through like a video. And because I don't want it to look like I'm critiquing somebody's video, I'm not going to send my responses for that here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send the video so that you guys have the paper and my responses. When I send the video, so what's going to happen is that the video will be sent, but the video is not necessarily the responses that I would have, at least not in its entirety, and then I'm gonna send my responses along with the video. Is that clear? Or do I need to be a bit clearer?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay. Okay, thank you. Oh, wait. Oh, and you sent the 2023 paper 1 to the group? Or is it the paper 2? Because I can find the paper 1, that's not necessarily the 2. 2020, okay, give me a quick second. The paper 1? If anything, just resend it, please. Okay, so I'm seeing the 2022 paper, so I'll go through that. Thank you, Ernest, appreciated. Okay, so yeah, so let me start. So a sociologist who studies population trends most interested in the impacts of cultural beliefs and practices on population growth and rates. Yeah. Country X has a dependency ratio of 3, country to 100. Country Y has a dependency ratio. So country X is what is it?
Excuse me, miss. Someone is asking if you could zoom in a little more, please.
Will do. So for the most part, I'm just going to keep my mic off because I mean, I really think nobody needs to hear me read it, you know. So yeah. So if you guys have anything to say, you know, just like send it in the chat. Or if you guys have any questions or need me to explain something, just open up your mic if anything.
So why
Is this good or do you need me to zoom in some more? This is
It's
good?
good. It's
Okay,
good.
great. I heard someone saying something before.
I'm
it
sorry,
was
Miss.
I was
Would you send this in the group with the answered question?
yeah. It's I'll send
Okay.
the responses to the group.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, great. Also, guys, the aim is to end at 9. So yeah, just informing you guys. Hopefully we end earlier. Just so you guys are rested because I know some of you probably have exams tomorrow. So, yeah. I have a question. Would you guys prefer that I read it and then respond and then respond, or do you guys not mind the way that I'm doing it right now? Because I'm thinking you guys want me to read it and then
Yes,
respond.
miss.
Oh,
Yes, miss.
okay. I was wondering. Okay, so the family. Okay, so let me just go through the ones that I've done already. So sociologists who studies population trends will be most interested in the cultural beliefs and practices on population growth and rates. You have, because remember that religion, and cultural beliefs, impact population growth, because certain religions and certain regions and certain cultures have different beliefs in terms of, have different beliefs, and that may impact, how their families may look, and that would impact population growth rates. Do you guys understand that? I think it might be a little bit time consuming to go through every single question and why it's right, and discuss why they're right. So if anything, you guys can say which questions you need explanation on, and then we can do that. Because I think that because we're going through the 2018 papers and up, I think that might be a bit time consuming. So yeah, I can read them and yeah. So if anything, you guys can just tell me. Just open up your mic and tell me which one you want an explanation on. So yeah, country X has a dependency ratio of 33 to 10, and country Y has a dependency ratio of 75 to 10. What can be inferred about these countries is B, country X has a lower percentage of children and elderly, and 3, which is country Y needs to provide more social services. Which of the following statements is true of Caribbean migratory patterns? Caribbean populations have resulted from immigration over time. Which of the following statements is true of Malthus's population theory? It's population growth eventually outstrips food supply, and 3, people must practice moral restraint. Which countries net When a country's net migration is negative, the population will show a fall in growth rates. The Family Planning and Association of Countrywide is developing a campaign targeting teenage females. The population statistics, which the association may find most helpful, is the age-specific fertility rate. Which of the following theories held the view that the richer nations have a smaller population but are responsible for consuming most of the world's resources? I believe that would be A. Marx, yeah. View and yeah. Refers to the following diagram, which shows a type of population pyramid. Which of the following governments or policies are likely to be implemented in a country with this type of population pyramid? So that would be B, allocating more money for pensions and training more geriatric nurses. The price of the said to have begun with the reduction in mortality, which of the following statements is not a reason why social development is a critical concern to everyone. That would be A. Enhance social competencies negatively correlate with learning. Okay. The term underdevelopment is usually associated with A, exploitation of resources. Oh, guys, am I too low? Am I too low? Because I'm wondering if you guys can hear me. Am I too low or you know anything? I'll just speak up louder for my own comfort. Yeah, I figured it was a bit low. Okay. So which of the following tenets is associated with neo-Marxist dependency theory? That would be B, the more powerful countries have exploited the weaker ones. Which of the following is not used as an indicator of development? That would be B, size of prison population. Which of the following theories drew attention to the economic challenges of developing countries? That would be C, dependency. I think that's a bit too big. An aging population has the least impact on A, economic diversification. Does someone have something to say? Give me a quick second. Okay, yeah. Nicholas lives in a community labeled a high crime area where he's able to learn criminal techniques. Which of the following groups of theorists claim that such behavior is learned in the community? That would be Sutherland and Howard and Olin. Cloward, I would say Cloward, not Coward, Cloward and Olin. I really hope I'm pronouncing their names right there, but you guys can see on those people. Yeah. Which of the following pairs is more likely to be used by society as forms of informal sanctions, ostracism, and criticism? Remember, it says informal. Hold on. Somebody. Which one? Oh, is it 60? I personally would say, and I see the people that say D more likely because remember Sutherland mainly spoke about what was it? Differential association. That was his own, and he gave the interactionist perspective. I remember in differential association, they were saying that you would learn, criminal behaviors from those around you. So yeah. And I was also saying, and I think the best answer is also paired with Cloward and Olin, mainly because they spoke about, I think, believe delinquent subcultures, or no, not delinquent subcultures, sorry, differential delinquency and opportunity, yes. So yeah, I think the both of them would fall under, I think those two would be the best response when you look at it. Yeah, I get you. Because remember, again, Sutherland is differential association and Conrad and Olin spoke about delinquency and opportunity. But yeah. Also, guys, that's why again, it's important to use the discretion in certain things. And I know it might sound ironic, but I think it's important that you use your discretion when it comes to certain types of things because even within an academic setting, because remember, people online aren't always right, extremely ironic, I know, but yeah, So back to this. So which of the following is not a characteristic of deviance? That it is predetermined. 19. Oh wow, okay. I need to okay. According to Durkheim's theory of crime and deviance, see a certain amount of deviance is necessary for a change. In Merson's topology of deviance, an individual who accepts culturally validated goals but finds deviant ways of achieving them is known as an innovator. Okay. Okay, for 18, the answer for 18 is A, predetermined, as it's predetermined is not a characteristic of deviance. You're welcome, hon. Okay, so 21. One characteristic of white collar crime is its de-sophistication. Which of the following statements is not related to sanctions? A, that they undermine conformity. Remember the word not. Remember the word not. Also, guys, when you go into the exam, right, remember to read the questions, because what happens is that sometimes, I don't know if you've seen it, if you've done some of the older papers up to the newer ones, but what happens a lot of the time is that sometimes they will give you a question and it will be pretty similar to what they had before, and then it's just like they tweak it kind of. So for example, with this one, you see how you have the big knot there? Sometimes they would ask which of the following is related to sanctions, and then probably like change around the answers, or probably they even leave the answers, or they might just change it. So sometimes they might take out certain things and alter it, just so that you don't necessarily rely on the whole, oh, you swap the answer, so you can just do the A, B, C, D, whatever. So it's important, and I say often like to say it's important to read the questions, because sometimes they might change it. I just do like a minor change that will change the entirety of the answer. So yeah, it's important to read the questions. Also, is everyone okay with the pace that I'm going at? Is it okay for everyone?
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. Also, do you guys have any questions so far about what's going on? You're not confused on why certain things are the answers? Need further explanation? I'm gonna take that as a no. Well, I'm gonna take that as a yes. 21, you need further explanation on 21? Okay. 21. Okay. Okay, so the reason why it's a characteristic of white collar crime is because, remember, white collar crime is the crime of the elite class. So this is the crime that you'd have your middle class and your upper class people committing. So that's why you say sophistication. And also due to the fact that, it's not like it takes a level of knowledge to commit these types of crime. So for example, for fraud, you can't necessarily, like, everybody can commit fraud, right? Like, you have to have some type of, knowledge about the inner workings of the company, or the inner workings of like a human mind, in order to commit fraud, if that makes sense. You kind of understand what I'm trying to say? Or do you need me to explain in a different way? Yeah, great, great. So other than 21, everyone has been is clear so far on the answers and why they're the answers.
Yes, miss.
Okay, great. Also, I just wanted to inform you guys. After the 2020 paper, we're gonna take a break. Then we're gonna do the 2021 and the 2022 paper. Also, was anybody able to locate the 2023 paper? I just want to clarify on that, just to like get an idea of where the time is going to, because we're gonna have to extend that bit because we're going to do the 2022 paper. Okay, great. Well, not great, but I just wanted to say in terms of, you know, timing wise. The 2023 paper? Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I cannot find the 2023. Okay. The paper one, because I could find the paper two. The paper one was an issue for me to find. So yeah. Oh yeah. So let's go back to this. So I just want to know so that we have like an idea of the time. At the time. But yeah. So we thought prime. Yeah. Without crime, there would be no social change in society, and this would result in stagnation. Which of the following theoretical approaches is best reflected in this statement? So, functionalist. Social control is most accurately defined as a combination of internal and external factors that encourage conformity. Mhm. Marxism has the viewpoint that the capitalist structures and institutions of society generate crime. Which of the following statements suggests that this is true? So D, that this is true. Hold on, let me underline that. Mhm. According to Cohen's subculture of delinquency, gangs in Caribbean countries may evolve from a lower class delinquent males who cannot achieve middle class goals. Which of the following is least likely to be an instrument of ideological control? Peer group. Which of the following statements does not reflect the conflict theory on crime? C. Offensive nature of crime tends to create stronger bonds among people in society. Again, guys, read the questions because you never know. Hold on. You never know if they might change. If they might just tweak the question just a bit, and then the answer might change. So yeah. Remember to read the questions. Because guys, this is not like CSEC. Like let me backtrack a bit. Now, as I said, that is not like CSEC in the sense that how in CSEC you might get a paper and it might be the exact paper like the year before or the year before that. This is not gonna happen. What's gonna happen is in CAPE is that when you look at it, you notice that I wouldn't say barely, but it's not as many repeats. They're not walking in there, just knowing every single thing without actually having to read the questions. Because that used to happen in CSEC for a lot of people. They used to be able to just look at the paper and just immediately know which response was there, so they didn't have to even read the question in its entirety. You cannot do that in Keep. They have to read the question in its entirety. Because what may happen is they may tweak the questions, or it may be a new question, or overall new paper. And you don't want to rush through the paper. You want to take your time, but you don't want to take too much time. And just bear in mind that you have 90 minutes. Yeah, you have 90 minutes. Oh, and 30 minutes, 90 minutes. So basically, you just have to take your time to do 45 questions. Just take your time and read through the questions and remember to finish the paper. You have ample time. Explain 28. Okay. So it says which of the following statements does not reflect the conflict theory and crime? You guys should know, since you prepared for paper 2, what the conflict theory and crime basically states. I won't 100% go into that. But you know that, like for example, so let me just explain why it's C. So it's basically C. I did a small part. I was gonna go through all the responses, but I don't really necessarily think that's the best approach. So why the answer is C? The answer is C because C reflects the view of the functionalist view. It reflects the functionalist view. It doesn't reflect the conflict theory because conflict theory, they basically argue that essentially, crime essentially targets the lower class, essentially, right? It essentially targets the lower class, it's basically developed off of Karl Marx, his way of thinking, and it's just that, they argue that the lower class is heavily criminalized, that sort of things. So the reason mainly But the main reason that I would give to you, since you would have already known that already, is because C has more is the functionalist theory rather than the conflict theory. In 27 be D. Okay, great. 27 wouldn't be D because mass media is a societal institution. Peer group is not one. So that's why it wouldn't be D. But remember, your societal institutions. So yeah. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. So hold on, let me read here. I heard. Yeah, that's how it is, Like guys with Cape, they change. Like if you guys did come studies, you guys would know these people don't really love the one bag of repeats. And if you have been looking through the papers, like if you decide that you want to go into like 2012, if you want to do that, if you decide you want to do that, if you decide to do 2012 or 2009, go all the way up here, you would notice that there's no one paper that's identical to the other one, unlike it that's identical across the years, unlike in CSEC. Like in CSEC, you could find multiple papers that were identical, or at least somewhat identical, or that were not identical but very similar, as in like one change. Yeah, you actually have to know what's going on. You actually have to know what's going on, guys. So yeah. But back to the responses. And do you guys need any explanation on anything else, or is this fine? Yeah. Yeah, the thing is with paper one, you would know the majority of this information. Like, to be honest with you, like once you finish preparing for paper two, you would know the majority of this information. It's just about reinforcing, you know, like when you look at the majority of it, this is a lot of this information. It's not things that are particularly new to you, at least not for the most part. Some of it, will be, but a lot of it wouldn't be particularly new to you in the sense that, and even if it is in the sense that you don't necessarily know what it is, you could have an idea. And what I mean by in the sense that you don't know what it is like you don't really know the answer, but you'd have an idea, or at least you'd have like two narrow ideas of like what the answer could be. I don't think the way how they ask you questions is that you absolutely just don't know what it is. You can won't absolutely just not know what it is. You will know. You have an idea of what it could be, right? So yeah. So just prepare, and just know your content, and you'll be fine and dandy. So yeah. Back to 29. So, which of the following measures would be least effective in long-term crime reduction? So, that would be B. That would be enhancing legislation to prevent telephone tapping. Formal institutions implement mechanisms to regulate the behavior of individuals. Which of the following best illustrates this position? The answer would be D. Hold on, hold on. Which of the following perspectives asserts that poverty results from the failure of the state to allocate resources equitably? Marxism. Absolute poverty is defined as a situation in which people be are unable to meet their basic needs. Oh, God. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say because the legal school rewarding students for hard work, it wouldn't really match up to the legal system implementing laws to control behavior. Because when you look at it, right, people normally alter their behavior based on what is a crime or not. So, for example, a lot of the times, for I think a permanent example would be the age of consent. The reason why, I don't mean to sound awful, right? I'm aware that this is recording, but the reason, if you look at it and you look for a lot of things, the reason why a lot of men don't date 12-year-olds or quote unquote date 12-year olds is due to the fact of the age of consent and because it's a crime, right? Because there has been studies to prove that if the age of consent was lower, most men would date children. Yeah. Well, not most men, a lot of men would date children, right? So that's all things. I think that's a pretty good example of the legal system implementing laws to control behavior. So you have a lot of these men not dating 12-year-olds, as many of them in reports would do, because it's a crime, right? In terms of school rewarding students for hard work, you know, it's not the best answer. Like I could see why somebody would say that, but I wouldn't say it's the best answer. When you look at the fact that the legal system, a lot of people, they be people behavior, in my opinion, let me put this in a decent way to explain. A lot of behavior is regulated due to the fact of what is and what isn't a crime. So because you know what isn't a crime or what is a crime, you would mainly alter your behavior to conform with what's generally acceptable in society, right? Schoolwork rewarding school rewarding students for hard work doesn't necessarily that's not the best one. It can illustrate the position, but the answer is the best response. Do you get that? Do you understand what I mean by that? Or do you need further explanation? Hello? Was that clear or am I just assuming it was clear? Wait, let me just give it another friend. Okay, hold on. Okay, great. Great, great, great. Also, if you need another explanation, if you do law, you would know why. Well, I don't know if they did this in Cape Law, but I didn't know Cape Law. But I know that basically a huge part of the reason why laws cannot be introduced retrospectively is due to the fact that people need to know what is a crime so that they can adjust their behavior, you know? So if that provides any type of explanation to whoever you are, whether you're watching the recording or you're here, I hope that helps. I hope that explanation helps. So yeah. But just think about it in the sense that people they'll be able to alter their behavior based on what is a crime, essentially. And that's why it's the best answer. It's not that A doesn't illustrate it in a sense, right? It's not that A doesn't illustrate it in a sense. It's just that it says best. And when you're thinking about regulating the behavior of an individual, your best bet would be talking about the legal system. I don't understand the question. I mean, you could do law or a law course if you like it. But yeah, that's just me responding to the chat. But yeah, does anyone need any further? Jances, if you do unit one and unit two and you don't want to resit any of the papers, it's basically a one and done situation. So what you would do, you matriculate to university or college. So yeah, because in some countries, college and university aren't the same. So yeah, that's what I said. Matriculate to either college or university. So yeah. So unless you're resitting, and if you've done both years, which would involve unit 1 and 2, then it's basically a one and done situation. So yeah. But back to this though, does anyone have any questions? Wait, hold on. A prerequisite for what? What would you need a prerequisite for? Oh no, you don't have to do K law as a prerequisite to do law. You don't have to do it as a prerequisite to do law. But yeah. So questions. Yeah, you just need, yeah, that is it. You just need 2 units of K. So I'm gonna assume that some of you guys want to do law. Yeah. Yeah, I really hope I'm not doing the conversation. Let me just go back. But yeah, does anyone need any explanation on what you've gone through so far? You guys understand? It's clear. I'm gonna assume answer is yes. Wait, repeat, please. Oh yeah. Okay, great, great. So 33, psychological poverty most accurately refers to a situation which the poverty is of limited duration and experienced only during stages. Wait, no. Hold on, let me read this. You are unable, some people. Yeah. Okay, yeah. This is the better. This is the better one out of all of them. This is the better one out of all of them. I wouldn't say it's the best definition. That's why I had to pause up for a little bit, but I would say it's the best one out of all of them. Do you guys see why? Okay, great. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best definition, but yeah, it said which one most accurately. So yeah, according to Herbert Gann's functionalist theory, B, poverty persists because it is beneficial to certain groups in society. According to the culture of poverty theory, C, the poor take their condition for granted and seldom try to change. The most accurate statement about the contribution of sociology to an understanding of poverty is C. It explains why poverty persists among specific groups. Which of the following accurately describes the poverty line is employed in measuring absolute poverty, and that's because it is objective in nature. Women may be unequally disadvantaged, but hello? Okay. So women may be unequally disadvantaged by the experience of being 37C. No. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, no, it's not C. Because when you look at it, the poverty line, it doesn't really speak to the impact of poverty at all, actually. Like, it just tells you, when you look at it, it just tells you, like, the percentage of people that are, below it. So it's not really, so it doesn't really place emphasis on the impact of poverty. Like, it doesn't really explain, how people are affected by being impoverished. It doesn't really do all of that. It's mainly just, it gives you like a statistic on the amount of people who are, living below the poverty line. It looks at the threshold, It looks at the threshold that determines whether someone is living in poverty, you know, but it doesn't necessarily gives you any more information outside of that. It's merely an objective test, for lack of a better word, in terms of test. But it's just mainly like a threshold that would determine whether or not somebody lives in poverty. You also have like, it can tell you like a percentage, a statistic might tell you like a percentage of people living below the poverty line, but it's not necessarily something that gives you information on how poverty has impacted somebody. So for example, it's not telling you like how, like a category of the poor may be adversely affected by poverty or anything. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So women may be unequally disadvantaged by the experience of being in poverty. Which of the following situations best reflects women's experience of being in poverty? So D, high levels of discrimination exist against women in society. Some researchers found that at least half of the children born into disadvantaged homes do not do not repeat the pattern of disadvantage in the next generation. Which of the following theories does this statement challenge? I think it's pretty obvious, culture of poverty. Also, guys, again, read the questions because I'm just gonna emphasize that throughout the whole time. Why? Because I've seen papers where they went and they just changed one word and the whole answer had to change. And they had to take a minute. You had to take a minute to actually read it because a lot of the time you're thinking, oh, it can just breeze through the paper. No, don't just breeze through the paper, guys. Read the questions. Yeah, read the questions. You have 90 minutes for 45 questions. You know, 90 minutes for 45 questions. You have a good time. You have a good time. Yeah. Don't just rush out to leave. But yeah. So, which of the following is an indicator of the quality of a healthcare system in a particular country? So that would be B, infant mortality rate. I don't like how big this is. Something like this or in which of the following ways has the study of poverty in the Caribbean helped to promote development in the region? So it has the increase in education, it has the result, it also has to protect citizens. I would say A.
Why not all of them?
Wait, hold on. Was someone trying to say something? Because I was muting people because, background noise. But was somebody trying to say something? Like, why not all? Okay, let me explain that. I would personally say not all, because the study of poverty hasn't really impacted laws to protect citizens. That would mainly be the study on crime. Because in fact, when you look at the Marxist theory on poverty, right, it actually suggests, well, I also remember that the Marxist theory is also called a conflict perspective. So it's used interchangeably. Hold on, give me a second. Feedback. Feedback. Okay. But yeah, when you look at it, right, when you look at it, it's mainly when you look at it, the Marxist theory on poverty actually suggests that laws are developed actually to criminalize the poor. So it's not necessarily that it's promotes it has promoted the development of laws to protect citizens more so. I would say that would be under the law to do with crime because the study on poverty has mainly impacted, things like welfare programs and those types of stuff. It's not necessarily led to the development of laws to protect citizens in a sense. Because when you look at it, the majority of laws don't protect people who are poor. Yeah. But yeah. So 42, climate change refers to a change in long-term weather conditions for a particular region. Poor people derive the least benefit from the healthcare system. Oh, this is the 2018 paper. Poor people derive the least benefits from the healthcare system because see poor diet and living conditions of the poor. Welcome. 44. The process whereby non-medical problems become treated and defined as illnesses or disorders is known as medicalization. Which of the following groups of individuals can be categorized as the deserving poor? And this is C, the disabled and terminally ill. Does anyone have any questions? So this is the end of 2080 paper. Does anyone have any questions? And yes, I'll be sending it to the group. I'll be sending it to the group. But does anyone have any questions? Okay, great. So let me go on to the other people, 2090 people. It's not necessarily a CSEC and CAPE group. It's the sociology unit 2 group. It's the CAPE sociology unit 2 group. So yeah, that's the group I'm referring to. Could you send your number, please? Wait, give me a second to pass this group ready. But yeah, just send your number. Mhm. Okay. Mm. Also, guys, please send your numbers if you're not in the group. Remember that the group's name is Cape Sociology Unit 2. You know, it has a yeah, Unit 2. So, okay, great. Oh. Okay, guys, so I added you guys to the group. Some of you, I had to send an invitation link, so just look at that. Just look at that. So yeah. Just look for the invitation links. Let me resume the share. So we're on to the 2019 paper. Okay, just give me a quick second. Okay, so I just paused the share. Give me a second, guys. So just add someone else. Mhm. Also, just remember everyone that if you have questions, please either ask in the chat or unmute your mic. You know, I, I want to be sure that you guys understand what's going on. Also, and don't remember to just agree, just because, you think that someone who knows that what they're doing, is correct. Because, guys, that's how you learn. You're not always 100% correct. Oh, okay. Natalia, I think you're already in the group. It says that you're already in the group. So, but yeah, it's the same, guys. It's the same Cape Sociology Unit 2 group. It's the same one. Same one. So yeah, let me resume the share. Okay. I resume sharing. Okay, so we're doing 2019, people. Okay. So which of the following is an accurate definition of the term natural increase? C, the surplus of births over deaths in a given year over for a particular year. Wait, sorry, my bad. Let me read that over again. The surplus of births over deaths in a given country for a particular year. Which of the following statements best reflects the global population distribution? C, the world's population is unevenly distributed. The dependency ratio is an important measure of a country's social and economic development. Which of the? Okay. Which of the following ratios will indicate the highest level of development? And that would be A. What are we talking about? Dependency ratio. Talking about dependency ratio. Hold on. Item 4 refers to the following table, which shows the development indicators that are used to describe trends and evaluate progress in various countries. So let me zoom in. Let me just zoom in case anyone wants me to. Yeah. Valid person following countries. So you can so 4 would be B without access to safe water. Okay. The crude birth rate and crude death rate in a country indicate the country standard of living. This is too long. I want it to be smaller. Which of the following socioeconomic statistics is most likely to be associated with Caribbean states? And that would be C, yeah, high levels of outward migration. Again, guys, read the question. This is your most likely. They might ask you least likely. They might ask you, they can just do the question. Either way, remember to read the question. And I'm going to repeat that throughout the whole thing. Why? Because God is important. It is important because, I've seen people go into the papers. And you're also going to look at it in university as well. Not look at it, but you're going to experience it in university as well. If you plan to pursue higher education, where? Because something is repeated, they might tweak it. And then people, they don't fully read the question. They read the top part of it or half of it. And they're like, okay, I know this. And they start writing or they start responding. And they don't read the whole thing to see that they altered it. So you need to give a different response. It's important to read the question. Remember to read the question. Okay, back to what I was saying. So, modernization theory is mainly associated with a functionalism. Items 8 to 9 refer to the following table, which shows population statistics for our country in the Caribbean. What are the most likely challenges that cities C, A, and B would face if the trend continues? So that would be B. Yeah. Research has shown that many persons in village D moved to city A. What would be the most likely factor causing people from village D to move to city A? So that would be D under development. The term under development is usually associated with the Hello? Repeat? 9? You want to go back to 9? Okay, great. So you don't need any like explanation or anything. You okay now? Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yes. Okay. Which of the following theories drew attention to the economic challenges of third world countries' dependency? According to Thomas Malthus, which of the following is not effective in controlling the population of a country? That would be B, increasing state welfare for the poor. I don't know. Repeat? Repeat? Wouldn't it be what? Yeah. No, it wouldn't be D. For 12? Because remember, he advocated that the poor didn't have children, and he advocated that people stop poor laws. It says not an effective in controlling the population of the country. And the reason why is because, yeah, he didn't like welfare mainly due to the fact that he felt that it gave the poor handouts. And so because of that, they could just be lazy and just have a bunch of kids because they had a tendency to have a lot of children. So it says which one is not effective in controlling the population of a country. If it increase birth control measures amongst the poor, that would be effective in controlling the population of a country. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Again, guys, it's fine, it's fine. Just remember to read it good in the exam. That's all that really matters. All of this is practice for the exam. So know the time that you're supposed to, yeah. Also, guys, remember to check over. Like, I know that some people don't like checking over, but remember to check over. Remember to check over because at times they might read things differently, because it has happened to me. So remember to check over. But yeah, which of the following statements about global population change in the past 30 years is true? That would be A, the world's population has doubled Item 14 refers to the following pie chart, which shows the population distribution of country X. The most pressing problem the government of country X is likely to face in 10 years are the provision of adequate health care and expanded opportunities for employment. There's most pressing. Which of the following which of the following factors may be considered obstacles to development? That would be B, dependency on financial aid and high rates of illiteracy. 16, deviance is viewed as relative in nature, which are the following statements best explains this view. So that would be A, behavior in one society may not be readily accepted in another society. Primary deviance is defined as deviant acts that are usually tolerated by society and committed by most individuals within their lifetime. According to Merton's topology of deviance, an individual who accepts the culturally validated goals but finds deviant ways of achieving them is known as an innovator. Social control is most accurately defined as a combination of internal and external factors that encourage conformity. So 17, let me go back. This is 17. 17 is that primary deviance is defined as deviant acts that are usually tolerated by society and committed by most individuals within their lifetime. You're welcome. Okay. Marxists hold the viewpoint that the capitalist structures and institutions of society generate crime. Which of the following statements suggests that this is true? And that would be C. Jamaica has one law for the rich and another for the poor. Okay. I mean, that was a verbatim. Say how in Jamaica there's one law for the rich and another for the poor. Which of the following statements support the conflict theory on crime? And that would be C. By defining people as criminals, the ruling class has more control over the working class, and crime is created by those in society whose interest it serves. I don't have the 2023 paper, so I can't do it. Honestly, guys, I do not know where it is. I have been having such a difficult time finding it. Cause I just recently got 2022. So yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. When, so 22, criminal behavior results from a person being denied access to legitimate means for obtaining material goods whilst having access to illegitimate means of accessing these goods. Which of the following theories exposes this view? That would be the differential opportunity, also known as delinquency and opportunity, you know. But yeah, as long as you get the gist of it. It's the same thing with Cohen's subcultural theory of delinquency is also known as status frustration. So yeah. So social order is most necessary for social, you know, stability. Oh, okay. Cohesion. Um, the option for cohesion is not there. Well, yeah, it is also necessary for social cohesion. However, social cohesion also impacts the social stability. So you're not wrong. What are the implications of having an aging population for the Caribbean region? A, an increase in demand for social services. Which of the following statements is associated with the Marxist theory of crime? D, most laws concern the protection of private property. Which of the following theories postulates that without adherence to norms and values, life would become chaotic? That's functionalist. D. Keisha works for a travel agency. She sold a travel package to a retired women's group. Upon their arrival at the destination, the group had to pay fees that were a surprise to them. Keisha's act can best be described as, and you guys know that fraud is a type of white collar crime. So yeah, John Smith is only 14 years old, but he's a drug addict who lives on the streets of Kenton. This situation best represents Robert Merton's mode of adoption referred to as retreatism. Which of the following is the most accurate definition of corporate crime? So you have the illegal action of a company or individual acting on the behalf of the company. Remember, guys, sometimes people use corporate crime and white collar crime to be the same thing. They use it. Sometimes they're used interchangeably. Some people say that they're different. But you just know that normally when people refer to white collar crime, it's similar to corporate crime, or they would be referring to some people use them interchangeably. So just remember that. In case it was obvious, um why are white collar crimes so difficult to detect? And that is because these tend to be intermingled with legitimate behavior. Which of the following is not a type of poverty? That would be the objective. Which of the following statements is most likely to be the view of a conflict theorist? D, the state must reallocate resources from the wealthy to the poor. Which of the following groups of individuals can be characterized as the deserving poor, the disabled, and the mentally ill? The terminally ill, sorry. 34, climate change refers to a change in the long-term weather conditions for a particular country or region. Researchers contend that the behavior of the poor is not culturally ingrained, but rather is determined by situational constraints. Which of the following factors can be described as a situational constraint? And that would be underemployment. Marxist ideology regarding poverty states that the poverty results from the state's inability to allocate resources equitably. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, great, great. Which of the following activities is not likely to lead to climate change? And that would be C, growing plants. Remember the word not, guys. Remember the word not. Also, guys, remember, again, this is your reminder to read the question. Please read it. Because don't let it be that you need everything to be in the big capital letters. Because, I wouldn't say that they might not do it. Because they normally do that. They normally like put the big nuts in or best or most, in the capital letters. But don't just rely on that. Remember to read the question. Remember to read the question. That's what I have to say. And it might be annoying, but guys, it is important to remember. It is important because a lot of people come out of season and yeah, no, I was not because it's true. Listen to me. It's because I see it in university. Like people really don't read the question, guys. I'm so sorry. Like I see it in university a lot where people are there and then genuinely just read like the top part and they start writing and then you have to look for the bottom part and then realize it's completely different. Or not even in the gist of completely, but it's not that how the answer should be. So it's similar, but not in the way that you need it to be. And you cannot allow it to be. You need to read question, guys. You have 90 minutes. 90 minutes is enough time. For 45 questions, guys. Guys, yeah. Yeah. So back to sleep. So which of the following is an indicator of the quality of a healthcare system in a particular country? And that would be the infant mortality rate. Which of the following situations best reflects women's experience of being in poverty? And that would be a high levels of discrimination exist against women in society. I do not like what the like when it's too long. Say okay. Which of the following is the most accurate statement about the contribution of sociology to an understanding of poverty? It explains why poverty persists among specific groups. The concept of the culture of poverty was developed by Oscar Lewis. Which of the following is not included in the feminization of poverty? That would be A, low fertility rates. Which perspective posits that governments will do little to alleviate poverty since they will act in favor of the ruling class? That is Marxism. Which of the following perspectives asserts that poverty has many benefits to society? That's the functionalism. Which of the following measures can be used to alleviate the cycle of persistent poverty in the Caribbean? That would be D, increased opportunities in the education system, change in the attitudes and values of the population, and 3, changes in the socialization patterns of the young. So yeah. Does everyone understand so far? Is there anything you guys don't get? Okay, great. Love that. Let me quickly pause the share just for a bit. But yeah, I'm just pausing it so I can add more people to the group. Also, guys, if you guys aren't in the group, please send your numbers. Also, remember that after we do what is it, the 2020 paper, we'll be taking a 15-minute break, and then we'll just do the 2021 and 2022 papers. Also, again, I'll be sending the responses to the chat after we're finished. So yeah. If I need to say something else, but I just say that while I'm recording, so anyways. So guys, remember if you're not in the group, just please send your numbers. Okay. Just please send your numbers. Mhm. Okay, guys. So I'm going to go on to the 2020 paper. So I've added some of you guys to the group. Just check. Just check. So yeah. Yeah. So let me resume sharing. Okay. So also I wanted to state that since I received the 2022 paper, then I don't need to send the video to the group chat. So we can just do it here. And I'll just do response here. So it's gonna be a bit longer. So yeah, I hope that's okay. So yeah. There's the 2020 paper. Okay. The issue that would most concern hold on. Oh, I was saying that since I received it in the beginning of the meeting at 6, I had stated that since I don't have access to the 2022 paper, I only have a video of it. I was going to send the video and then send my responses because I don't necessarily agree with some of the responses on the video that I'm going to send. But I wanted to send you guys the video so that you guys could see what the paper looked like. But since I received it, we're just gonna do it here on the meeting. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just gonna send the response to the WhatsApp group. So yeah. Also, I'll be sending everything at one time. So yeah. Also, again, I'm not doing 23 paper because I don't have access to it. So yeah. So the issue that would most concern a demographer is the impact of cultural beliefs and practices on population growth rate. Mhm. Country X has a dependency ratio of 33 to 100, and country Y has a dependency ratio of 75 to 100. What can be inferred about these countries? So B, country X has a lower percentage of children and the elderly, and country Y needs to provide more social services. So that's B as in boy. Which of the following tendencies is very common among most Caribbean societies? That would be D, high levels of outward migration to North America. You know, that shouldn't be shocking to anybody. Which of the following statements are true of Malthus's population theory? Population growth will eventually outstrip food supply, and people must practice moral restraint. So that would also be B. Items 5 to 6 refer to the following table, which shows migration statistics for country Z over a 5-year period. Which of the following factors is a likely cause of the migration trends in 2017? So you're looking at 2017 now. Looking at this. I'm gonna take this one. Okay. 2017. So that would be so immigration, or people are leaving and coming back in. That is and relationship, right? Investment. I would say I have A. To have less, you have more people, leaving. Yeah. So yeah, the net migration figure in countries V is A for 2016. A.
Go country, let me see.
Wait, okay.
Hi.
Are you okay now? Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, get it? You guys get it? Okay. Wait. According to the demographic transition theory, a simultaneous reduction in the birth rate and death rate is typical of the stage known as B post-industrial. Oh, I have to go. Which of the following factors contributed to the decline in fertility rates in the Caribbean within recent years? That would be I don't increase in education opportunities. I would say B. The process of demographic transition is said to have begun with the reduction in mortality. Dependency theory is mainly associated with the ideology of the neo-Marxist. Item 11 refers to the following diagram, which depicts the dependency theory, metrical, local, metrical, periphery. Which country most likely reflects the periphery? Yeah, shocking, I know. Which of the following theories advocated that in order to move from a traditional society to a modern one, there had to be changes in the values, norms, and attitudes of the people? Talk of persons. Which of the following measures is not used as an indicator of development? The size of prison populations. Which of the following theories drew attention to the economic challenges of the developing countries? That would be C, dependency. According to Thomas Malthus, which of the following strategies is effective in controlling the population of a country? This would be promoting celibacy and abstinence. Deviance is viewed as relative in nature. Which of the following best explains that? That would be D. This is also a reason why you must read the question, guys, because remember when you look at the other papers, that was normally at like A, so that had changed the order. So yeah. Which of the following views is associated with the proponents of interactionism? That would be A. Which of the following are characteristics of deviance? Would be C. Deviance violates standards of conduct. Deviance acts as subjectively interpreted. Primary deviance is defined as deviant acts that are usually tolerated by society and committed by most individuals within their lifetime. That would be A. According to Durkheim's theory of crime and deviance, C. A certain amount of deviance is necessary for change. Most criminologists emphasize that in order to prevent crime, the severity of the punishment must be equivalent to the crime. Does anyone have any questions about the responses so far? Anything you'd like to explain? Anything you'd like to challenge? Also, again, guys, if you guys aren't in the group, please send your numbers also and check if you had sent your number previously, just check it to see if you've been added or if I had to send you an invitation. But yeah. But also remember to add your area code when you send me your number. It's appreciated. Thank you. So moving on. Which of the following statements is not related to sanctions? A. They undermine conformity. Which of the following statements is true of the Marxist perspective of the role of the police in controlling and reducing crime? which is the police engage in selective law enforcement, focusing mainly on policing working class areas and ignoring crimes of the elite and the middle classes. Which of the following statements is true of women and crime in the Caribbean? Which is A, women are less likely to be convicted of crime. The family acts as an agent of social control for all its members. Which of the following is the most likely example of effective informal social control within the family? Domestic activities keep women occupied. Which of the following statements is true of white collar crime? C, it includes crimes such as fraud, bribery, theft of services. Which of the following is less likely to be an instrument of ideological control? Peer group. Which of the following statements does not reflect the conflict theory on crime? That would be B. The offensive nature of crime tends to create stronger bonds among people in society. That's functionalist theory, specifically Emil Durkheim, Ramesh, and Echo. Echo, I really hope, I don't miss the pronunciation, but yeah, who are supervisors in a construction company secretly falsify the company's documents to ensure that they get extra supplies for building their new homes. This is an example of a white collar crime. So, yeah. Formal institutions implement mechanisms to regulate the behavior of individuals. Which of the following best illustrates this position? D, the legal system implements laws to control behavior. Also, back to 29. So you guys see why I say sometimes they're used interchangeably and sometimes they're not. So sometimes, wasn't it C? No, it would be white collar crime. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, that is why I was saying to you guys that sometimes people would be there and they use it interchangeably. That's why I said sometimes they use it interchangeably and it's not the same thing. The reason why it's not the same thing is because corporate crime is a type of white collar crime where they have people within their legitimate occupations, right? And they just do criminal activities, you know. Oh. Could you send the area code with it, please? You must have want to send a message. I'm gonna share. Okay. So I'll just like pause for a brief minute to add somebody to the group. Guys, either send in numbers, please. And the reason why I'm pausing, and I'm sorry for the abrupt, but the thing is that I don't want to lose the numbers. So just add your number, please. Okay. Okay, guys, just add your numbers. Very apologetic for the abrupt stop. It's just I really don't want to lose the numbers. I really don't. And at times they can get lost in the chat and all these things. I just really need that to not happen. Okay, great. So does anyone else need to add? Let me resume sharing. Okay. But yeah, so it would that's what I said, guys. Remember that they're not the same thing, right? So white collar crime would normally involve would refer to crime involving a business that is committed by an individual, right? Meanwhile, corporate crime is usually refers to a corporation involved in illegal activity. So corporate crime is a type of white collar crime, right? But white collar crime isn't necessarily a type of corporate crime, if that makes sense. You guys understand that? So, like, white collar crime would be mainly done to benefit an individual, meanwhile, corporate crime would mainly be done to benefit the overall corporation, if that makes sense. Do you guys get it? Do you guys understand? Also, yes, I'm still sharing. So that's wait, hold on. Have I not been pausing the recording? Whoa, okay. I have not been pausing the recording. My bad. Wow, I thought I was just pausing the sharing. Interesting. Wow. Well, I just realized I haven't been pausing the recording, so it's not gonna be as short as I think it is. My apologies, guys. But yes. So on to the next one. Again, just to repeat. So that's what I said, guys. They're not the same thing. White collar crime and corporate crime are not the same thing. Corporate crime is a type of white collar crime, but white collar crime is mainly done to benefit an individual or like individuals. Meanwhile, corporate crime would be used to benefit. Or not necessarily used to benefit even, but I mean, and the reason why I say used to benefit is because people normally commit crimes to benefit themselves. But I don't want to say the word benefit. Is that white collar crime would mainly be done is would be like an illegal activity that's done by like an individual, right? So it would be involved, it's a crime that would involve a business that's committed by an individual. Meanwhile, corporate crime would usually refer to the corporation, the entire corporation being involved in the illegal activity, right? So I hope that makes sense. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? Yes? No, maybe so. Okay, I'm just gonna hope that you guys understand that. So 31, which of the following types of poverty is temporary and occurs as a result of an adverse event? So situational. Absolute poverty is defined as a situation in which people are unable to meet their basic needs as being. Which of the following statements on poverty is most likely to be the view of a Marxist theorist? So that's D, the state must redistribute the resources from the wealthy to the poor. According to Herbert Gans, functionalist theory. 34. B, poverty persists because it is beneficial to certain groups in society. According to the culture of poverty theory, the poor take their condition for granted and seldom try to change. Researchers contend that the behavior of the poor is not culturally ingrained, but rather is determined by situational constraints. Which of the following factors can be described as a situational constraint? And that would be underemployment. So I just wanted to say that I just wanted to explain that a little bit because I know that some people get a bit confused on that one. So basically, you would say that underemployment over seasonal employment, you would mainly say that mainly due to the fact that Underemployment, you would be looking at the fact that it mainly refers to a mismatch between the jobs available and the skills or qualifications of the workforce. So it often leads to individuals working in positions that do not fully utilize their capabilities or in part-time roles when they would prefer full-time work. Meanwhile, you would have seasonal employment that is related to functions of the fluctuations of labor demand that are predictable and occur at certain times of the year, right? So you see your holiday seasons or harvest times, right? And so you also have seasonal employment is not necessarily a constraint, but a characteristic of certain industries where the demand for labor fluctuates with seasons. So meanwhile, you have underemployment, which is a situational constraint, which is basically that the situation that you'd be in is that there's a mismatch between the jobs available and the skills or qualifications of the workforce, right? So that's basically the situational constraint there, right? So because there's a mismatch, right? You have individuals working in positions where they're essentially their skills are underutilized, or they're working in part-time roles when they would prefer full-time work. Meanwhile, in seasonal employment, that's not necessarily a situational constraint. It's not necessarily a constraint. It's more so it would more so refer to like the fluctuation of demand of labor over the seasons or over a period of time or in certain like yeah seasons. Let's just say seasons. So it would fluctuate. This it mainly refers to fluctuation of the demand of labor over in terms of the seasons. So that's mainly why it would be underemployment. You guys understand that? I hope that's kind of clear. Do you want me to like rephrase it or is this fine? I wanted to say it even though nobody really mentioned it because I noticed that this is like a question that seems to like throw some people off. So yeah. You guys get it? You gotta get that.
That's nice.
Okay, great. So 37. Nothing can be done to improve my circumstances. I must think about where I will get food for today. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Which of the following theories describes poverty as outlined above? Cultural poverty. Which of the following is included? You see, guys, you see why I said that do you see why I said to remember to read the question? Because if you look back, I believe on what is it? The 2019 paper, they had asked the same question as 38 and they put not. You remember that? They put not. But yeah. So for 38, that would be wage discrimination. Some and when I mean that they put not, they said which one is not included. Yeah. So just remember to read the question, guys. Some researchers found that at least half of the children born into disadvantaged homes do not repeat the pattern of disadvantage in the next generation. Which of the following theories does this statement challenge? So that's a culture of poverty by Dr. Louis Romo. An indicator of the quality of a healthcare system in a particular country is given by the infant mortality rate. Which of the following statements is true regarding the incidence of HIV/AIDS in the Caribbean? The Caribbean has the second to I cannot pronounce. I really cannot pronounce it, and I do not want to mispronounce it. So yeah, see it. Sub-Saharan Africa. It's second to Sub-Saharan Africa. Yeah. Climate change refers to a change in the long-term weather conditions for a particular region. Again, remember to read the question. Because this was the at some point. For people, when I mean that it was the at some point, I don't mean that the answer was unusual weather conditions in a particular. I mean like the way how they set it. the answer that's currently at B was currently at B. I just want to clarify that. I just want to clarify that. Yeah. Just want to clarify that. There's a question, I think. 41. What's about 41? But do you want to read it or is 41 clear to everyone? Or oh, okay. Okay. Wait, so first one is the Caribbean, the second to Sahara. Okay, great. Is Saharan to sub-Saharan Africa. Again, I really don't think I pronounced that right, but yeah, we move forward. Poor people derive the least benefit from the healthcare system because of the diet and living conditions of the poor. The process whereby non-medical problems become treated and defined as illnesses or disorders is known as medicalization. Okay. Intervention strategies to reduce poverty and inequality in the Caribbean include the conditional cash transfer programs, early childhood development projects, and microcredit and insurance initiatives. Yeah. But yeah, so with that, guys, we'll be on a break for 15 minutes. Oh, okay, so we're back. We're doing the 2021 paper. Yes, and then we'll be doing the 2022 paper after this, and then we'll be finished. So yeah. And we should finish in good timing at 9. You know, we're not gonna finish earlier, it looks like, because we're gonna do 2022 paper, but yeah. We're gonna end earlier than we did last time, so you know, progress. So, which of the following statements is true of a population consensus? So, D, it is expected to account for every person or household. Social development is a critical concern for everyone as it D forms the foundation for sustainable development, is crucial to the improvement of quality of life for all, and is crucial in the fight to eradicate poverty. Okay. The dependency ratio is an important measure of a country's social and economic development. Which of the following ratios will indicate the highest level of development? That would be A. Any questions so far? Okay. Okay. Um, so for 4 in 2008, country X had a total population of 500,000. The total number of births for that year was 5,000, and the total number of deaths for that year was 2,000. Which of the following was the crude birth rate for country X in 2008? And that would be C. The crude birth rate and crude death rate in a country indicate the country's rate of natural increase. If a country's net migration is okay. Explain for okay. So let me draw. So remember the crude birth rate, say birth rate. So how you do that is let me type. Let me type because can save more space. So the formula for that is number of live births divided by total population. Also, guys, remember your formulas because you might need it. Yeah. So this is that, right? But as you can see, the way how they have written this is more so in a ratio type of situation, and it's not necessarily what you would have if you times it by the 1,000. So, and I say it because when you do the calculation, it's gonna look like that. So what you'd be putting you'd put in the number of births over. Also, bear in mind, what I would say is it's important to note that it never said live births, but because this is the only statistic that you have, because this is the only statistic that you have to use it over 500,000. Well, let me draw it. I'm sorry. Let me draw. I think it would be best if I drew it. Just so you could see how I was going with. Yeah, just let me just finish the explanation. That's lovely. I'm happy to hear that you understand. Also, guys, remember to remember the statistics, not the statistics. Remember to remember the formulas because I had sent the syllabus, well, the study guide to you guys, and it has the formulas there on one of the pages. I'm going to look for the page that it has and direct you guys to that. But yes, and I'll resend it for those who are new. But again, guys, the reason I say it's important because when you look at it, the number is gonna be like point situation, not a point situation, but it's gonna be like a full number rather than a ratio, as you can see here. So yeah, that's why I say that. Remember the number that you get here because this ratio is not gonna be when you multiply it by the 1,000. Okay, and you guys know two, two, two. Wait, 10,000. Wait, no. Yeah, so that's that. And when you look at the calculation, let me give you a calendar. Why is it so big? Okay. 1 divided by 100 is this. Wait, why did it look that way? Hold on. 10,000. So I take this 3 here. Okay. And then, no, then, yeah. And then, and you look at this. It's the same ratio. You guys see that? Yeah. See? So that is how you get that. But let me just leave the down there because guys, I would understand if it would be a bit difficult because you'd be multiplying it. A lot of times you'd be multiplying it by the 1,000, but as you can see, they're doing it in a ratio type situation. So just deal with the ratio type situation, yeah. Because when you actually multiply it by the 1,000, right? When you multiply 0.01 by 1,000, you're getting, I believe, 10. Yeah, there's no 10 there, as you can see. I mean, unless it's in the ratio type situation, so you have to know. So yeah. So I hope that provided some clarity to somebody because I get it's a bit difficult or confusing. But just remember that So yeah. Also, guys, remember to read the question because they might change the question and probably ask you what the crude death rate is, right? They might ask you that. So just remember that. But yes, I'm going to send you guys again. I'm gonna resend the information that I had sent before in the WhatsApp group, which would include the study guide. And I'm just going to find a page that would involve the quantitative measures, right? And I'm just gonna direct you guys to that because it was scanned, so I can't necessarily like send with the specific page. But yeah, I'm direct you guys to that. But on to the next thing. I'm hoping that everybody got that. Did everybody get what I did for 4? Did you guys get it? You guys understand? Great, love that. So for 6. So if our country's net migration is negative, it will indicate a fall in the population growth rate. In population growth rates. 7, which of the following is not used as an indicator of development? B, the size of prison populations. So as you guys can see, this is a concave population pyramid. And you guys know that when it comes to concave population pyramids, they indicate useful populations, while convex population pyramids indicate aging populations. So let me just state that there. So let me just find it back. Where like you have an example, not there. Let me find the convex one. Oh no, hold on. Yes, I'm going back to the past papers just in case anybody was wondering why. It was there, you know. Wait, we did a paper. We see, oh, see here. Okay, but yeah. So this is a convex population pyramid, and it indicates an Asian population. Let me put that. Pop. While, and then you have a concave population pyramid indicates a useful population. Oh no, the population. Okay. You know, I can see that there's something else with. Okay, yeah. Guys, just remember concave and convex. Concave, you know, it looks like this, you know, caving in. You see how, like, if you guys did bio, this would be easier. But yeah, but you see, concave, caving in, convex is like outer shaped, as you can see. So you see the caving in part here, you see, you know, the outward shape is being pushed out a bit more. I hope you guys can see that. Yeah, I just wanted to add that just in case it helps anybody, you know, yeah. Especially if you did bio, I think that could help. But yeah, which of the following governmental policies are likely to be implemented in a country with this type of population pyramid? And that would be A, more early childhood learning centers. Where is the okay. Learning centers? Which of the following statements are true of Malthus's population theory? Population growth eventually outstrips food supply. People must practice moral constraint, which is B. Guys, remember, according to Malthus, population grows geometrically or exponentially, and its substance, which is the food supply, that grows arithmetically. I just wanted to say that just in case it helps anybody. The term underdevelopment is usually associated with the exploitation of the resources in third world countries. Dependency theories argued that developing countries remained poor because of the exploitation by rich colonial powers. Guys, remember which theory again? This is why you read the question. I mean, I'm not saying that it caught me, but I'm saying it could catch somebody. Because what if they change the question to ask about like another series? So then the answer would particularly not necessarily be the same. So guys, just read the question. Just read the question. Yeah. I don't mean being given here, because this type of answer is like geared towards dependency. But like, what if I give you a different question that probably would have responses for modernization, That's why it's important to read the question. But yeah. According to Thomas Malthus, which of the following is not effective in controlling the population of a country? Remember the words not. You see why I said we read the question? Because you had words said which of the following is effective or is most effective for like another paper. I think it was the last paper that said that. And then this one is saying which one is not. That's why it's important to read the question. So it would have increasing state welfare for the poor. Well, no, I think the question had asked which one was not, But I'm saying if they asked you a question, I think one of the questions had asked which one was the most effective. But yeah. Which of the following population theories stress the need for planned parenthood? And that's neo-Malthusian. That's one of the points where they differ from the Malthusian theory. Yeah. A student remarked to his classmates that labeling theory was closely related to symbolic interactionism. Which of the following principles was this comparison based? So that would be C. Being labeled helps to shape the individual self-concept. Which of the following factors may be considered obstacles to development? That would be dependency on financial aid, and high rates of illiteracy, which is B. Deviance is viewed as relative in nature, which of the following statements best explains this view? So, which is that a behavior in one society may not be readily accepted in another society. Emile Durkheim's insight into deviance indicates that P, it develops from anomie and produces social solidarity. Okay. Without crime and deviance, there would be no change in society, and this would result in stagnation, which of the following theoretical approaches is best reflected in this statement? Functionalist. Social control is most accurately defined as a combination of internal and external factors that encourage conformity. Guys, also, I hope you guys know the reason why the answer is, because I know that some people also think it's B. Not also, some people might think it's B. And the reason why I think it would be the best possible answer is because of the fact that it states encouraging conformity, right? Because in case you guys don't remember, conformity, which could be similarly, not similarly, my bad. Conformity, which may be synonymous with cohesion, right? Is basically an element in social control. So yeah, that's why that would be the best answer in my opinion, right? Because constraining human behavior alone does not accurately, define social control. It's not just constraint. We're encouraging conformity. We're encouraging a certain type of behavior. That's not just solely reflected in constraining human behavior, if that makes sense. Do you guys understand what I mean by that? You guys get what I'm trying to say? Great, love that. Love that. Okay, so 20. Which of the following is a characteristic of deviance? So B, deviance violates standards of conduct. Hold on. Okay, my mic is on. Great. Which of the following is least likely to be an insurance? But yes, guys, the reason for this is because everything else is a societal institution. That is why, yeah. Because even though, guys, peer groups do impact your behavior, but the reason why is because a peer group isn't necessarily, involved as an instrument of ideological control. Because remember, instruments of ideological control that would be synonymous with your, societal institutions, right? So yeah, 22. Nicholas lives in a community labeled a high crime area where he is able to learn criminal techniques, which the following theories claim that such behavior is learned from criminals in the community. So that would be D, I think we already explained that earlier on. Formal institutions implement mechanisms to regulate the behavior of individuals. Which of the following best illustrates this position? D, we explained this already. Also, guys, right? I just wanted to also state for 22 why it is not also C. Right? I thought some people might think it's C. Remember that Becker mainly speaks to the labeling theory. The labeling theory, it is, kind of has to do with crime, but it's not the best answer. And Becker alone cannot carry it when you have Collard. I really hope I pronounced the word. Guys, don't miss the pronunciation. You guys see the word Cloward and Olin, Cloward and Olin. Yeah. So the reason why it's the best possible answer is because Sutherland mentions differential association, and Cloward and Olin mention delinquency and opportunity. So yeah, and those will be the better ones. Those will be the better responses. And I believe that Lee and Young, their own is mainly focused on like things that alleviate or like kind of trying to reduce crime. Don't say my word for it, but I think that's what they mainly focus on. So yeah. Well, actually, let me confirm just in case somebody wants to know, because it's not one of the general theories, but I'm pretty sure that they focus mainly on strategies that would, reduce crime. But yeah. But yeah. So they mainly assert Lee and Young, just so that you guys have it. Just so that you guys have it. Is that Lee and Young, they assert that the more vulnerable a person is politically and economically, the more likely it is that a person will be victimized from all directions. And their own is left realism or realist criminology. So yeah. So yeah. Oh, what about the conformity question? Is it like confusing for you, or you need further explanation on it?
I was wondering because when I was looking at it, I see both answers, but I'm still leaning towards B because
Which question?
the question with the one with the institution, yeah, that one.
Which
Number
one?
9.
19?
Yeah. Because I
Oh,
was saying, doesn't conformity come from social control? So like I
conformity.
would,
Yeah, that's why best defines it. Because like I was saying, just because it constrains something wouldn't necessarily accurately define social control. right? So just because you're constraining human behavior, that doesn't necessarily mean that that is, particularly including social control. Because remember what social control is. Social control is essentially when you actively or passive. It's like it's a process, right? So it's an active or passive process where a group would regulate itself or a society would regulate itself, according to its own beliefs, principles, values, norms, or whatever. So basically, what you're looking at it is you're trying to regulate the behavior of people, right? That is according to like the accepted way of living. That's essentially what social control is. Just because you constrain human behavior, that doesn't necessarily mean that that doesn't necessarily mean that you're fulfilling social control, if you get what I'm trying to say. So just
Yeah,
because
I
I am
understand.
there, okay, let me just fit further something there. That's good though. But just because I'm there, I constrain something, that doesn't necessarily mean that I am regulating behavior or regulating the process in order according to my belief. Because at the end of the day, I'm regulating it to ensure conformity, if you get what I'm trying to say. Just because I put a constraint on you, that doesn't necessarily mean that I am doing that. If that Because basically remember what you're doing, in terms of constraint, you're restricting something, right? You're restricting something. But I think that would be included in what you're trying to say for a combination of internal and external factors that encourage conformity. Because when you're encouraging conformity, you're doing certain things that are restricting behavior that isn't included in the conformity, if that makes sense. But you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay, great. But does everyone else understand what I'm trying to say? Oh, you don't understand what I mean? Well, you don't get by it. Well, you don't understand. Like, what is it particular that you're not getting for the social control question? Okay. Like, do you need me to rephrase it? Oh, okay, you just don't know. Okay, that's fine. But let me just repeat, right? So basically, and let me just sum up. Basically, why I'm saying that A is the better answer is that in terms of B, because clearly it's not C or D, right? But the reason why I would say A over B is mainly because to constrain something means that you're restricting something. The whole point of social control is to encourage conformity, right? Just because I've constrained something doesn't necessarily mean it's aided in me achieving conformity, right? But restriction would be a part of the combination of internal and external factors, right? So, for example, prisons would be a part of the internal and external factors that would encourage conformity, right? And you would also, but prisons also constrain. It also is a form of constraint, right? So yeah, essentially. But it's not necessarily just willing agreement to a norm, to be honest with you. Like, it's mainly like compliance, with standards and rules. And it's basically you exhibiting behavior that's in accordance with like accepted, what's accepted in society, right? So it's not necessarily just norms. Yeah. That's essentially it. And the thing with constraint, it's not necessarily force alone. It doesn't necessarily have to be force. But yes, that's essentially it too. But I think that kind of someday I would necessarily say that fully it. Because conformity, just because you conform to something doesn't mean you actually have to agree to it, if that makes sense. But the reason why I would say I get what you're saying, but just because Okay. But yeah, I got you saying, but I wouldn't say that just because you're forcing somebody to agree with something doesn't mean you're actually in agreement to it. Because just because I conform to something doesn't necessarily mean that I'm in agreement to it either, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to be willingness alone. It's just compliance, right? So just because you comply to something, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm in full agreement with it. I'm just acting in accordance, right? So like, yeah. But the reason why I'd say that is mainly due to the fact, again to repeat, it's just mainly due to the fact that I would say constraint for human behavior would be included in the internal and external factors that encourage conformity. And additionally, the whole point of social control, this is the best answer because the whole point of social control is to encourage conformity, right? That's the whole point of what you're doing. You want people to be in accordance with your beliefs and your principles and your values. And that's basically conformity. You want them to, behave themselves in how you as a society deem acceptable. So yeah, that's why I would say that that's the best answer. So yeah. Moving on. Hold on. Hold on, wait. Um, because I'm accepting. I think that's an okay explanation, and I'm referring to the chat. I think the better one would be, for example, let's be messy. In Jamaica, abortions are illegal, right? But just because, so for example, if I'm there and I'm pregnant and I want an abortion, I probably would be as a person who believes in abortion, right? But I don't get an abortion because I'm conforming to the standards of society. I think that would be the better one. Or like for example, if I'm there and just using the example in the chat, if I'm there and I'm driving a speed limit, right? And I personally believe that the speed limit should be higher. But because I don't want to go and break the rules or anything, I'm going to go and I'm going to stay with the speed limit, even though I believe it could be higher. Like, you get what I'm trying to say? Or it could be lower. You get what I'm trying to say? Just because I conform to something doesn't mean that I actually agree with it. I'm just doing it because you might, and a lot of times people might want to do that because they're, afraid of repercussion. So, yeah. But you get what I'm trying to say with the example? I can't pronounce your name, so I'm just hoping that you get what I'm trying, that you know who I'm referring to. I mean, yeah, that's basically functionally saying. Basically, even though we reinforce norms and values and beliefs there, yeah, that's basically what functionally say. Which B can't be. I wouldn't say that's why it's not B, right? I wouldn't say that's why it's not B. The reason why I would say it's not B is because constraining is not the best answer, right? Because me constraining behavior does not necessarily only allow for something. But I explained this much for paper tools though. I went in depth for paper tools, guys. I did. We were there for like 6 hours, 7 hours, 6, 7 hours. Yeah. Yeah, like it's like a 6 hour video for the paper tool. Yeah. But yeah, I just hope you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah. Guys, sociology paper is not a bad, guys. It really isn't. It really is not bad, You guys know the content. The issue is that it's a bit tricky. It's just a bit tricky. Yeah. It's a little tricky. You guys, subjective, I can't 100% disagree. That is a bit subjective. I can't 100% disagree. Because people be, like, you would see that, like, all over the internet is different answers. Like, yeah. But I get what you guys saying. I understand. Trust me, I do. Trust me. Because I was there. Yeah. But yeah, on to the next one. I hope you guys understand the explanation that I've been trying to give. Again, to sum up, and I said that already before, but I want to sum up again because I just don't want you guys to not understand. The reason why, again, it's because the whole point of social control is to encourage conformity. That's what you want. You want people to adhere to the accepted behaviors of society. That is the point. Constraining human behaviors alone is not going to do that, right? Because that would be a part of the factors that encourage conformity that could be placed inside A, but A can be placed inside B, if you understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, great. I was just trying to repeat, just in case I want to like a sum up. But yeah, next. Okay. I know it was a lot of explanation, but I just wanted to make sure you guys understood. So for 24, which of the following statements is not related to sanctions? Which is that they undermine conformity. Right? Which of the following statements is associated with the Marxist theory of crime? And that would be the most laws are concerned with the protection of private property. Criminal behavior results from a person being denied access to legitimate means of attaining material goods whilst having access to illegitimate means of attaining these goods. Which are the following? This is the differential opportunity theory, also known again as delinquency and opportunity theory. Keisha works for a travel agency. She sold a travel package to a retired women's group. Upon their arrival to the destination, the group had to pay fees that were suppressed. This is fraud. Yeah. And you guys know which are the other ones, right? Like, yeah. Remember, forgeries when you like fake somebody's signature. Last thing is essentially it's similar to theft. And robberies when you steal somebody's things. But yeah, there's like differences between these two, but they're pretty similar. They're pretty similar, but yeah, there's a slight difference between, but they're pretty. But we're not getting into that. We're not getting into that. But yeah, 28. John Smith is only 14 years old, but he is a drug addict who, yeah, you guys know that's he who cheated him. You guys know the different ones. Remember the different ones. I hope you guys remember. Um, you guys know the different ones, right? First grade, right? Right. Okay, great. Okay. Which of the following factors most likely accounts for the trend in the above diagram? So the men who have been poorly socialized are more likely to commit serious crimes. Which of the following factors is most likely to lead to domestic violence in the Caribbean? B. Societal perceptions of male superiority. Which of the following is not a type of poverty objective? Because that would be absolute. Which of the following statements is or subjective, whichever one. Which of the following statements is most likely to be the view of a conflict theorist that the state must reallocate? Which of the the concept of the culture of poverty was developed by Oscar Lewis? Which of the following perspective assess that poverty results from a failure of the state to allocate? Researchers contend that the behavior of the poor is not culturally ingrained, but rather determined by situational constraints. So the following is underemployment. Again, we explain that according to Herbert Gans, functionalist theory, B, poverty persists because it is beneficial to certain groups of society. Because following activities is not likely to lead to climate change. Clearing forests. Wait, hold on. Is not. Wait, no, wrong. Come on. Is not likely. Okay, essential for 35. Which of the following is not likely to lead to climate change? Growing plants, growing plants. I went too quick for that one. So the explanation for 35, right? Yeah, I for that one. So for 35, the reason why is because underemployment refers to a mismatch between the jobs available and the skills and qualifications of the workforce, right? And so this often leads to individuals working in positions that don't fully utilize their capabilities, otherwise known as qualifications, or they're in part-time roles when they would prefer full-time work. So basically, it's a situation. Why it's a situational constraint is mainly due to the fact that the situation that they're in is a mismatch between the jobs available and the skills or qualifications that the workforce have. So mainly what you would have again, in stating as like I stated before, is that you would have individuals who are working, they're basically underutilized, right? So that's what you would have in underemployment. The situation, which is a situational constraint that you'll be talking about, is the mismatch between the jobs available and the skills or qualification of the workforce. Meanwhile, in seasonal employment, that's just mainly the fluctuation of the labor demand, right? So so it's a fluctuation of the labor demand, that is predictable and it occurs at certain times in certain seasons, right? So you have the holiday season or harvest times. So situational employment isn't necessarily like a situational constraint because it's not necessarily like a certain situation, for lack of a better word, that is, restricting them. It's not necessarily a situation that's restricting them from achieving or going further, right? In seasonal employment, like what you have in underemployment, where there's a mismatch between the jobs available and the qualifications of the workforce. In seasonal employment, what you have is that people are simply, why not material deprivation? Because material deprivation and cultural deprivation are closely linked, material deprivation, I wouldn't necessarily say that is I wouldn't particularly say that is a situational constraint, to be honest. Because when you're looking at it, right, and the reason why it wouldn't be is because when you look at it, it says it's not culturally ingrained, right? So material deprivation and cultural deprivation are closely linked. So I wouldn't necessarily put that in my contemplations, right? Because material deprivation is more so, it's a measure of poverty that it makes the person necessarily lacks items and activities that are deemed necessary for acceptable standard of living, right? That's kind of similar to cultural deprivation. Not necessarily cultural deprivation, but they normally use them like, it's not that they're linked as in similarly, but they normally use them together, to be honest with you. Like more people normally speak about the both of them together. Like it is a situation, like it is, but I wouldn't say it's the best answer. I wouldn't say it's the best answer, to be honest with you. I wouldn't say it's the best answer. So let me write it down. But I wouldn't say it's the best answer. And even then, like material deprivation, let me define situational constraint because I want to give you guys a definition that you guys can readily understand, right? You guys can really understand rather than my blabbering because I've already done that for like the other one. But yeah. So situational, so I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to like, so that I'm not blabbing. But yeah. The situational constraint, it essentially be something that would place limit to the extent that your attitude, your personal attributes, or your motivations would translate to behavior or performance, right? That's what a situational constraint would essentially be, right? And that's what I have in my book. Cause yeah. but that's basically what it would be. It's something that would place limits on the extent to which your attitude, personal attributes, and motivations translate to behaviors or performance, right? Material deprivation somewhat falls into that, but I think the best one would be underemployment, mainly due to the fact that I think that one gives you a better when you're looking at the fact for poor people, when you're looking at mainly for poor people in that sense, people would mainly look at underemployment rather than material deprivation when you're looking at a situational constraint, to be honest with you. But I get what you're saying. I think it would be similar. But I get what you're saying. But that's mainly what I'm thinking in the sense that it wouldn't necessarily be you know, that it wouldn't necessarily be that. But also you also have to look at the fact that material deprivation is more so like a lacking of items and not necessarily something that is impacting your behavior, like what a situational constraint is, because underemployment can impact your behavior, right? So underemployment may impact your behavior because you know, if you look at cultural poverty, you may be like defeatist at that point. But mainly like material deprivation is more so objective. It's more so objective rather than with underemployment, if that makes sense. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? You guys get what I'm trying to say, or do you guys need further explanation? So I feel like I could articulate just a bit better. Do you get what I'm trying to say, or they need me to like further explain? Hello? Hello? Okay. So yeah. But that's mainly it in terms of that. Mm-hmm. But that's it. But yeah. Also, in case I need to like say it in a different way, when you look at situational constraints, again, you know, it would again, as stated, I'm gonna repeat it. It limits the extent to which attitudes, personal attributes, and motivation translate into behaviors and performance. But you look at with underemployment, right? When you're there and there's a mismatch between what you're able to do, between like your qualifications and the jobs that are available, that might impact your motivation and that might impact your motivation, you know, that might impact that would limit your personal attributes and attitudes. Just because you're there and you're materially deprived, that doesn't necessarily limit your personal attributes, if that makes sense. So for example, just because I don't have certain types of access to books and stuff like that, that wouldn't necessarily impact the fact my personal attribute within myself. I'm an intelligent person, if that makes sense. That might just impact me being able to go into college, but that would impact my personal attribute or my, you understand what I'm trying to say? But yeah, that's what I would say that's the best answer, because one of them, it just gives a more holistic reasoning. There's a more holistic reasoning behind it. Even though it could be. But yeah. But yeah. So move on. But yeah, I hope you guys understand. And to move on, just to quickly finish. 38. Which of the following is an indicator of the quality of the healthcare system in a particular country, infant mortality. Oh, wow, that's long. Okay. According to culture of poverty theory, see the poor take their condition for granted. Which of the following is the most accurate statement about the contribution of sociology to the understanding of poverty? Let's see, it explains why poverty persists. Which of the following is not included in the feminization of poverty? That is low fertility rate. Intervention, all of the above explain this. Poor people derive the least benefit from the health costs, the diet and the condition. Medicalization, the poverty line, because it's objective in nature. Any questions about the paper? Okay, great. I really hope that you guys understood what I was trying to say with this, because I felt like I was rambling a bit. Because it's a good question. So yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me move on now. And this is the last paper. So yeah, I hope that you guys are excited about that. We're almost done, guys. Almost done. This is the last one. Yes, it is. Yes, this is the last one. Okay. The issue that also, guys, just because you see that there's a lot of repeats thus far does not mean that there's going to be a lot of repeats on your year. So just remember that, right? Just remember, because there has been a lot of repeats, and I'm gonna be honest. But guys, just remember, you can't only allow for repeats. Remember to read the question. I haven't said that in a minute, so I'm gonna say it again. So yeah, the issue that would most concern a demographer is the, no need to read that out. With country X has a dependency ratio of 36 per 100 and country Y has a dependency ratio of 75 per 100. What can be inferred about these countries? That country X has a lower percentage of children and elderly, and country Y needs to provide more social services. Country X has a population of 10 million persons. There are 2 million elderly persons who do not work, and 6 million people between the ages of 15 and 64. The remainder of the population. Yes, it's C. It's C. Does anybody need an explanation on why it's C? No, okay. So I assume that you guys understand it. Understand what's happening. Okay. Okay. So the reason why is because remember how to do the dependency ratio? So it's basically your dependence over your working population. Let me type it out. And let me do this quickly because I thought dependence over your workforce or your possible workforce. So those are the people between the ages of 15 to 64. Right? Some people have it as 14 to 65, 16 to 65. This is generally it. It's around this. But yeah, so when you're looking at independence, right, there's 10 million people there. So we're good. I'm gonna quickly go through this. I'm not gonna do it's to draw out explanations, and I just really do the draw out explanations just because, I hope that at some point my rambling kind of like helps people because sometimes rambling helps me. So yeah, but yeah, not everybody works that way. Give me a quick second. But yeah, so it depends over your work first. So when you have the 10 million persons, let's highlight certain things. Well, okay, no, I don't know. Let us highlight certain things. So you have 10 million people. Yeah, it's not clear, but so there's 2 million elderly people who do not work. So these are parts of your dependents. 6 million people between the ages of 15 and 64, right? So you have your six. You guys can put the million, but I really don't see the point because, you know, it's not like one of them is in the thousands. Like if it was in the thousands, then fine. But let me just add it for, the purposes. Wow, okay, no. This is too deep. I'm just add it for the purposes, of learning. So you're having the 6 million. You have 6 million. Okay, guys. So you have the 6 million. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to draw this. I'm going to type it. But then there's a certain capacity. So you have the 6 million, then you have the 2 million elderly, and they said that the remainder of the population comprises of children below the age of 15, which is a part of your dependence, right? So when you minus, so you have the 2 plus 6, which is 8, minusing from 10, which is 2. um, which is 2. Those are, so this would equate to the remainder of the population that comprises of children below the age of 15. You guys see that? You guys understand that? Yeah, but yeah, so that is where you get that. You guys see that? Okay, great. Yeah. So then you're putting independence now. So you're having the 2 million here, the 2 million here, which would be 4 million over your workforce, which is your 6 million. Which is this, we put it over 6 million, right? And then we do it in calculations in the calculator. So 4 divided by 6 is this, right? When you have the ratio, the one that equals the same ratio would be C. You see that? That's the one that equals the same ratio. But yeah, great. So moving on now. Okay, again, yeah, so moving on. So one of the effects of the immigration of economically active persons experience in the sending country, remember the word sending country, is a decrease in the working population. This is basically the same thing that we did a few papers ago. So slight increase in, well, okay. Slight increase in crime. Why is it doing that? And net immigration, net migration figure, yeah. Concave, so basically, wait, yeah, B, they allocated more money for pensions and training more geriatric nurses. Which of the following theories held that the view that the richer nations have a smaller population, but are responsible for consuming most of the world's resources? A, wow, not that happening. Okay. A, the process of demographic transition is said to have begun with a reduction in mortality. Dependency theory is mainly associated with the ideology of neo-Marxists. Also, similar thing for world systems theory, guys. Similar thing. Karl Marx argued that an increasing population produces a reserve army of labor. Which of the following statements is about global population change in the past 30 years is true? The world's population has doubled. Which of the following statements does not indicate why social development is a critical concern to everyone? B, enhance social competencies negatively correlate with learning, so that's not true. An aging population has the least impact on the economic diversification. Remember, it says least. It says least. Yeah. According to Thomas Malthus, which of the following strategies is effective in controlling the population of a country? Again, read the question. According to functionalists, the best function that deviance serve is that it repeat. Do you guys go back to what? This?
Okay.
Okay. So 16. Continue. Okay, great. 16. According to functionalists, the best function that deviance serve is that it helps to maintain group equilibrium. 17. Which of the following views on crime and deviance is associated with the proponents of interactionism? And that would be B. People react to their interpretation of others' actions. According to Merca's topology of deviance, an individual who accepts the culturally validated goals but finds deviant ways of achieving them is known as D. An innovator. Primary deviance is defined as deviant acts that are usually tolerated by society and committed by most individuals in their lifetime. According to Durkheim's theory of crime and deviance, C, a certain amount of deviance is necessary for change. Social control is most accurately defined as, yeah, we already went through this very extensively. Which of the following statements is not related to sanctions? They undermine conformity. The pair of concepts most likely to be used by society as an informal sanction is B, ostracism and criticism. One characteristic of white-collar crime is its sophistication. The family acts as an agent of social control for all its members, which of the following is the most likely example of effective informal social control in the family. Domestic activities keep women occupied. Marxists hold the viewpoint that capitalist structures and institutions of society generate crime, which of the following statements suggest that it is true, that this is true, Jamaica, as in, which of the following is least likely in peer group. Why is it doing that? Peer group. Okay. Marxist theorists argue that violent crime is prevalent within society mainly because of the marginalization of the working class. Ramesh and you guys saw this, okay, and ensure that they get for building their new homes of white collar crime. We explained why it's white collar crime instead of corporate, white collar individual, corporate, the entire corporation. Okay, does anyone have any questions about what we've done so far? As we're going on to the last 15 questions. Yeah. Any questions so far? No? Okay, so no questions. So the last 15 questions. Okay. Um, so formal institutions implement mechanisms to regulate the behavior of individuals, which are the following statements best illustrates this position. The legal system. Which of the following perspectives asserts that poverty results from the failure of the state to allocate resources equitably? Marxism. Cyclic poverty most accurately refers to a situation which poverty is of limited duration and experienced only during stages of an individual life cycle. Which of the following factors contributes to the maintenance of the cycle of poverty? Which is increase, increased unemployment cases in depressed communities, according to Herbert Gann's functionalist theory. B, poverty persists because it is beneficial to certain groups. According to the culture of poverty, the poor take their condition for granted and seldom try to change. Last 10 questions. Women may be unequally disadvantaged by the experience of being in poverty, which are the following situations best reflects women's experience of being in poverty. High levels of discrimination against women exist against women in society. I noticed that some people it's between B and D for them, and the reason why I think it's the better answer for D is because B falls into D. B will fall into D. And it's not even just that. Just because, and the logic is also that just because you're employed doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot be in poverty. Because when you look at it with women, a lot of the times it's very difficult for example, a lot of them would be in poverty due to discrimination because a lot of the times they're pushed to low paying jobs. At times they're overlooked for promotions that would help them to climb the totem pole, and or at least achieve upward social mobility, right? So women are being more likely to be unemployed falls into high levels of discrimination existing against women in society. Plus, it encapsulates, it's broader and encapsulates, various other reasons why women may be in poverty. So because a woman can be in poverty even if she's employed. So it's not just that, right? So I hope you understand that. Which of the following activities is not likely to lead climate change? Growing plants. Which sociological perspectives sees health or illnesses being socially constructed? So following being health or illnesses begin socially constructed. Hmm. What's that with this? It's between health or illnesses being, hold on. Hmm. I would say it's between Marxist and functionalist for me. See health or illnesses begin socially constructed. Huh. I would say it's between A and C. Is it? I wouldn't say that it's symbolic interactionist, but I would say it's between A and C. Um, C's health or illness being socially constructed. If I had to guess, to be honest with you, I feel like I would lean towards we're gonna say symbolic, okay. I said symbolic interactionist, okay. Climate change refers to a change in the long-term weather conditions for a particular region. Which of the following groups of individuals can be categorized as the deserving, poor, the disabled, and terminally ill? The disabled and the, hold on, there's something happening here. Okay, which of the following, what is that? Symbolic interaction is, but it makes sense. It makes sense why it would be that, to be honest. It makes sense why it would be that, to be honest with you. Because when you look at it, people tend to know what illnesses are because of like what society has defined them to be. So yeah, yeah. Okay, which of the following statements is true regarding the incidence of HIV such AIDS in the Caribbean? It's second to sub-Saharan Africa. In which of the following ways has the study of poverty in the Caribbean helped to promote development in the region? It has led to increase. It has led to increase education. So, no, why is it doing that? I guess it's because it's too low. A, yeah, A, okay. But let me go over 33 now, because I'm almost done. 33. Do you want an explanation or for which one? Why not D for which one? But do you want an explanation for 33? Okay, let me, the last question I have with it. Oh, the reason why I'm saying that it's not D is because when you look at it, the study of poverty hasn't necessarily led to development of laws to protect citizens. That's meaning like criminology. The study of poverty mainly looks at the overall study of poverty has mainly been in terms of why people are in poverty and how, as in some theories, how we'd alleviate poverty. But a majority of it hasn't necessarily promoted the development of laws to protect citizens. When you look at how we've been studying poverty in the Caribbean hasn't necessarily been to protect citizens. It's mainly been to look at how we can alleviate and make situations better, but it's not necessarily protection. When you're looking at protection, you're looking at like things that would be criminalized, actions that would be criminalized to protect, person, the property, stuff like that. But when you look at it, that's mainly like criminology. If that makes sense. For 33, so the explanation for 33 would be that it's the best possible answer. When you look at it and it says contributes to the maintenance of the cycle of poverty, if you have increased health and childcare benefits to parents, that would be a poverty alleviation strategy. When you're looking at increased access to quality education for minority groups in society, that would be an poverty alleviation strategy. By looking at increased child participation through provision of more sporting facilities. That's not necessarily poverty alleviation strategy. However, it helps with other situations in terms of health, and they could also use it as an example of how to curb crime. But none of those necessarily contribute to the maintenance of the cycle of poverty. Meanwhile, in B, where you have increased unemployment cases in depressed communities. Yeah, that would allow for the maintenance of self. Oh, okay, great, great, great. Okay, so 44, medicalization. Wow, okay.
Or she's
Medicalization. Repeat, please.
this is number 43.
43. Oh yeah, okay, man. Food security is problematic for Caribbean societies, mainly due to which of the following factors? I would say climate changes and natural disasters. Yeah. And 45, that would be public education. But yes, so that is the end of the 2022 paper and the session. Do you guys have any questions? Anything that you need further explanations? The last four. Okay, let me go to 21. So this would be for the 2021 paper. This is 41. This is 42, 43, 44, and 45. Guys, I'll be sending the responses. But yeah, I'll be sending the papers. Are you guys in the group, by the way? Right, so you guys are in the group? Okay, great. So with that, I think we've ended. Repeat?
Next number 45, please.
45. You want me to explain 45? Okay. The reason why is because though all of these, they're beneficial, the reason why is because the best way to get people to stop doing things is to educate them. That is why you have a lot of these strategies when it comes to health, right? A lot of strategies involve like promotion and awareness, which would involve public education. So, like for example, when people are telling you to get tested, or they're telling you the signs of certain diseases and illnesses, that's how they're trying to like educate people like widely, right? So the best option would be public education, because the best way to prevent something is to teach people so that they can empower themselves. That's mainly it. That's really the logic behind it. So it's kind of like, for example, with poverty alleviation. The reason why you wouldn't necessarily just give people money alone is because they want money will drop, but if you teach somebody a skill, right, they'll be able to empower themselves and make their own money. It's kind of similar to this, where the better way is to like educate them. So yeah. Any other questions? Okay, no. So I think with that we can end here. So I just wanted to thank you all for coming. It is appreciated.